Welcome to In This Season podcast, where we unpack the most empowering conversations, have exclusive and inspirational interviews, and host special events. Join Tammy, some call her Butterfly, and explore life's purpose by learning how to embrace each season of your life with confidence, strength, and purpose. Whether you're blooming in the spring, or shining in the summer, or embracing change in the fall, or gracefully hibernating in the winter, get ready to be inspired. Join us right here on this season of In This Season podcast with your host, The Butterfly. It's time, no matter what season it is.
Y'all remember that? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday, beautiful people. Let's get this Monday barbecue started. Daily motivations for African American success. Let me know that you're in as you come in, grooving. Groove into the feeding the ducks, getting ready to feed life. Hopefully in a different way. All right, who do we have with us? Miss Brenda David says, great everything, great people. Wishing everyone a great start to the week. Auntie Richetta, all the way from the ATL, says, good morning, Butterfly and nephew and everyone. Y'all welcome to this barbecue. Brandon, I sent the link. Go back up your... Brandon's asking me to send the link. You have it. You just missed it because we text so much. All right, Brandon's going to join us today, you guys. So, let's get the barbecue started. Daily motivations for African American success on this beautiful Monday morning. I hope that you bought your plate for a few leftovers. I'm going to get feeding the ducks stopped here. Well, it's going to fade on out. All right, you guys. Great morning. Great morning to you all. Hope you had a great last week, a great weekend. I do want to just mention my hometown because you guys, I did not know it was so bad down there, Valdosta, Georgia. It got hit pretty bad. So you guys pray for them, lift them up. Let me get this link to Brandon, you guys. I'm sorry, but I did send it. Let me do some things here. There it is. I'll resend it. That's the link for him to get on, you guys. So I apologize. It'll be just a minute. All right, I just resent it, Brandon, from the trail. Like I said, we went so much back and forth last night. You probably just missed it, but that's okay. It's kind of up there. Big Mike says, good morning, everyone. Big Mike, did you get to groove in or did you just pop in? If not, you got to do your thing. I'm going to go ahead and read us in because that's just what we got to do, you guys. So, well, maybe not. All right. He's back.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Look at your hat. What you doing?
Oh yeah, keeping my head warm. It's cold in here.
Here too. It's always cold in here though.
Good
How's it going?
morning to you,
Welcome back. All right, you got to fix that hat. It's walked.
Oh man, okay, let me fix it.
We don't have no walked hat.
Walk that.
Some people let you do it.
There we
Y'all
go.
welcome on here back.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you.
Good to see you too. It's been a while. Been a couple weeks.
Yeah, I think 2.
At least maybe 3.
No, it hasn't been 3. But welcome back.
Feels like longer.
I've certainly missed you. So welcome back. Let's jump right into it. Miss Brenda says, welcome back, Brandon.
Hey, Miss Brenda.
She said, even though your mom held it down, you were sorely missed.
Oh, I miss y'all too. I miss my great morning, great everything. You miss all y'all. Uncle Mike every morning. I appreciate y'all, and I miss y'all too.
Yeah, yeah. So we got our regulars out. We got Auntie Richetta, Brenda, Big Mike, and that's it. So got a few more out there, but those are the only ones. I'm sorry, you guys. I should say that has said good morning. That has put a comment out there. So, well, Brandon. So this is what we're gonna do, if you don't mind, because it's been a long time since you fed them ducks.
See, I
Yeah,
was already vibing with you. I didn't have that link, so I was feeding
man,
my ducks.
that link is in your thread because that's where I went and got it from.
Mm-mm.
You just didn't go up for enough because we kept texting back and forth. Right. So you missed it. So he came back with a different swag. Look at him. All right now. Come on, let's move it. Come on.
You're so silly. I'm just vibing.
Yeah. Go to the left. I go to the right, but we do it together. Come on. Ready? Y'all see how we do it? Come on.
You're so
There you
silly.
go. You got it. You got it. All right, y'all. All right. Let's do this barbecue. Let's do like.
I think mine is feed the chickens. You know, I got chickens out here.
When you feed the chicken, feed whatever. I just like. All right, there you go, Brandon. Welcome back. Welcome back,
Thank you,
son.
baby. Thank you,
Welcome back.
baby. It's good to be
All
back.
right. Miss you, because I'm tired of trying to read with glasses on, can't see. So
Oh
do what
Lord. And mine's a little blurry because I don't know if you can still see it. Still got this little, where is it? Right here. Got a little red spot in my eye,
yeah.
but
Well,
I can still.
you gonna read blurry this morning because I'm not trying to read.
But thank y'all, thank y'all. It's been a long trip, but welcome. I guess I'm welcoming myself back to the show because y'all been here, but welcome to the show this morning. Appreciate y'all for coming. Um, when we go through my whole spiel, when we do it,
Do your
okay,
thing.
all right, baby. Well,
Come
today we
on,
got
get real. Come on, get real.
come on, get real on day 243. Wow, 243. Now that's crazy. Coming back and seeing that big number. I think I left here at like 225, 230.
200.
That's when I. But
I'm
y'all,
just,
welcome. We are reading through the book Daily Motivations for African American Success. And my have I missed reading this with y'all and going through this, but I have caught a couple of the shows and even gone back and listened to some of them. So y'all have been motivating me. You, Mom, Trent, my cousins that have been coming on here that came down to the fight, which didn't go my way, but had a good first round, not so good second round. But that's just how it is. You got to keep going, keep rolling, keep moving on to the next. Go fix the holes in your game and come back for them another time. So, but it's good to be back, y'all. We again are going through Daily Motivations for African American Success by Dennis Kimbro. Get that book if you haven't gotten it. A little bit more about the book, Daily Motivations for African American Success, will help you focus on the thoughts, attitudes, and deeds that will lead to the achievement of your true goals. In 365 short, powerful motivations, one for each day of the year, Dennis Kimbro, the author of the popular Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice, leads us to discover how to use the present moment and our own gifts to transcend labels, cultivate a positive attitude, become wise enough to know when to say yes and when to say no, and to look inward for answers to life's challenges. Each motivation begins with words of wisdom from such distinguished and celebrated African Americans as Malcolm X, Marion Wright Elderman, Whoopi Goldberg, Charlene Hunter Galt, Bill Cosby, Carl Rowan, Mother Hale, Reverend Leon Sullivan, and hundreds of others. So, this treasure trove of practical inspiration will give you fresh encouragement every day of the year, but what it teaches will last you a lifetime. So thank y'all again for joining us today. It feels good to read that. It still kind of rolls off the tongue, you know, rolls off the tongue well. So feel right at home again.
yeah. May
Yep.
I make a comment?
Mm-hmm.
So you said about your fight that it didn't quite go your way, and I get it. But you guys, it really did, in the sense of um, all things are coming your way, and sometimes they have to come differently so that you move different. You know, God could fix it, make it all perfect for us, but the contemplation that I see Brandon in right now, um, it went his way. He just has to get there. He just has to keep going his way to get in the midst. Oh my gosh, I love that word, of his way. So I just feel God's always doing the thing. And as a mother, I sit here who he did not win. The bell didn't ring in his favor. But baby, the bell rang and it's keeping on ringing. As a mother, I see it. I see it. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful. So you won, baby. Matter of fact, your granddaddy said, so as soon as I saw him Sunday morning, because he walked in the door. How's Brandon? Right? So we had a little conversation. He said, well, we won. And we were at church, but so we have, y'all know, we have a little home church and we have a trailer that's on the church. And I was inside there and he came in and has Brandon. You have to know that you have to know my dad to get the how's Brandon. It's so much behind that. And for him to just come in right away, not good morning, nothing. No, not hey, nothing. How's Brandon? So
Oh man.
yeah.
Well, that's cool. I have to give Granddad a call. Hopefully, I'll see him here soon. But
Y'all, my dad is coming back.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Go ahead. Now you about to say something.
No, I was just gonna say for some people they might be like, "What's that about?" You have to listen to the show.
But yeah, but the people that have been following on, as a matter of fact, maybe about 2 days ago, we posted a short. You posted a short on your Instagram about why that's so significant to you, because you spoke up and told him of what you needed out of the relationship from him, and I remember seeing that post and all that and looking at it saying communicate it. Like whatever you need, if you're missing something in your relationship, communicate it. If the relationship isn't going your way and there's something that you're not getting from anyone, whether it be a romantic relationship or a familial or a platonic relationship, you have a responsibility to communicate it, because who else is going to communicate it except for you? It's like IT, right? And I was reading it, communicate IT, like information and technology. What's the information you need? And what's the mechanism in which, or the technology that you're going to communicate it with? It's like doing maintenance on your relationship. Communicate IT, communicate it, right? So, but I don't know. That's the way it came to me. So I'm glad Granddad's coming. But let's jump into the show. Maybe we'll get Granddad to do a show with you.
While he's here, you know what? Oh,
That might be pulling him a lot, but we're gonna see. All right, so
no,
listen.
that's a good idea because y'all, my daddy and our relationship, and if you probably ask him, he probably like, fine. But our relationship, man, asking for what I needed from my dad, man, it was like I went in for surgery.
Mm.
And they said it was going to be outpatient, like a minor thing. But when they got up in there, he was like, ooh. They had to call some more doctors in because the doctors couldn't stay that long, right? And then they
Yeah.
kept me afterwards just to make sure that all them wounds. And I tell you guys, most of them I created myself in my head.
Mm.
In my head. And I mean made some badass decisions from
Oh, wow.
them. Because it was in my head. So communicate it, as Brandon said. Ask for it. Whatever it is for you. Makes me think about the senior citizens that I spoke for. You're blessed with it. What is your it? Right? What's your itch? Maybe that's another
Mm.
question. But yeah, a lot of that stuff that I came from a broken place. So heal. Heal so you can have meaningful, connected relationships. Not perfect, y'all, because it ain't gonna be perfect. All right. So go, Brandon, before we get out of here, because I know we
All right,
got
we
some
got it.
to do.
Yeah. So today on September the 30th, our title is "Come On, Get Real."
So, so,
Again, come on, get real. And our quote of the day comes from Anita de France. who's an Olympic champion and member of the International Olympic Committee, Anita de France, said, "Your goal should be out of reach, but not out of sight." Again, Anita de France said, "Your goal should be out of reach, but not out of sight." So, and the passage follows, it's fun to watch a magician pull a rabbit out of an empty hat, or to see him produce a coin out of thin air. If we were to believe what we see, we would think that he had really materialized these objects. So it is with life. When driving along a country road, the trees in the distance seem to move along with us, while the shrubbery close by moves swiftly past us in the opposite direction. It would appear that the entire landscape was moving in one direction, while we are standing still. There are other times when we accept appearance as reality. For example, we see poverty and sickness, and judging by their appearance, we come to the conclusion that these images are real. But our Creator instructs us, quote, not to judge by appearance, but to judge by righteous judgment. Righteous judgment is the judgment that comes from right thinking. And right thinking comes from God. And God is real and good. When we judge righteously, we know that as real as sickness and poverty may seem, they are only appearance, not truth. These negative conditions have no real substance except that which we give them by our thoughts. As long as we accept them at face value, they will appear real and we will suffer the consequences until we change our thinking. The first step in overcoming any negative circumstance is to look beyond these temporary conditions and frustrations of the material world. And our affirmation today reads, today I will look for what's real. I will set my sights beyond negative conditions or circumstances for the true picture. Again, today I will look for what's real. I will set my sights beyond negative conditions or circumstances for the true picture. Over to you, Mom. What do you think about this? Come on and get real.
It's Simone, Brandon. That's what I say. Simone. Brandon, I didn't get to read this one, y'all, but it's spot on for me, right? I wish Trent was listening so that we could share some. Brandon, I kind of briefly talked to you about the judging part yesterday. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I don't have a lot other than, come on, I guess I should say it right. Get real. Y'all. It's time to get real. Right? Getting my asking for what I wanted from my dad. As I mentioned, it healed me in ways that I didn't even know I was broken, right? Or in bondage, right? So it's that to me was getting real. Stop the affirmation says, today I will look for what's real. What was the real thing in that, right? I have been feeling some kind of way for a lifetime, right? Based on things that my daddy wasn't even aware of. And I'll never forget the day when I kind of went into my temper tantrum, on my way to work, and he said something, and boy, it just like, whew, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in a very respectful way. But what he said was, well, dear, I never thought of it that way. We're two different people. He's a man, right? I'm this little girl, right? He just do what men do, right? But I had to get real and deal with what I was dealing with. Because if you're dealing with something, you're feeling some kind of way, even about somebody, It's because there's some unresolved issues either with that person or with someone before that person who has made you feel the same kind of way as this person. And guess what? That person and this person may not even know that you person may be feeling like you feeling and going through what you're going through. And so they keep living life and doing life with you as normal because they're not aware because you're not keeping it real. You're acting like everything is okay. So why shouldn't they? Why should they change their actions if you are approving their actions falsely? Right? So it's like they pulling out, says a magician pull out a rabbit and out of an empty hat, or to see the magician produce a coin out of thin air. That's what you're doing. You want them to just pull your feelings out and deal with them, but you're not dealing with them. So you're living a lie. And the greatest lies we tell are the ones we tell to ourselves. As the book says, you got to build character, and character is keeping it real, but keeping it real with yourself. See, because we'll justify some of our actions and thoughts, but let someone else have those same thoughts and actions, right? Much of what we do, right, comes from how we feel inside, who we feel we are inside, not who we portray to be, right? You got that part down. But the you inside of you, as I mentioned yesterday, okay, coffee is in this cup. If you bump into me, if I spill it, coffee's going to come out. Somebody keep bumping into you, the same you keeps coming out. But if you don't want it to keep coming out, and if it's not working, like why would you recreate the same scenario? Like if I'm behind the door and you open it and you accidentally, make me spill my coffee, right? What's in my cup. And then it happens again the next day. Happens again the next day. And nobody says anything. You just keep opening the door and bumping, making my coffee fall, and I just keep letting you. That ain't keeping it real. Come on now. Get real with yourself, right? It talks about goals, you guys, and so much more. Brandon, I think the part here on the book that says, and I can't really read it word for word, about if there's any power that can reverse the fortunes of race, it's character, right? Dennis Kimbro. Every thought, right, which enters our mind. What's the next one?
Every word we utter
Okay.
and every deed we perform makes its impression on the innermost fiber of our being. I heard you read that maybe a couple of days ago and kind of filled in the
Couldn't say
words.
it. Couldn't say it. I can't say, y'all, I need a new book. Somebody bless me with a new book. See, I asked for it. I just want to know if somebody will bless me with a brand new smacking.
You're gonna get like 15 books. You're gonna be like, y'all, I got
That
so
way I
many
can give
books.
them
I gotta
away.
get exactly.
Keep one, give it away. Over to you,
Yeah.
Brandon.
Thank you, Mom. I appreciate it, babe. Thank you for the insights. In reading this, there were a couple things that came to mind. One thing was the difference between our perception and reality, and what we assign as being real versus what we assign as being an illusion. And I noticed that it reminds me of, when you're a kid or even now, most of us as adults aren't as aware and observant as children sometimes are. But I remember being in the back seat of the car, driving on the highway, and seeing the car next to me, or driving anywhere, and seeing the car next to me start to speed up. And I would watch the wheels, the rims, and they would turn, and it looked like it'd be turning in the right direction. Then all of a sudden, about 40, 50 miles an hour, it looked like the turning of the wheels went in reverse. Have you ever seen that? Where you're looking at the rim of a car as it's driving next to you, and the wheels look like they're going clockwise, and then, or yeah, it looks like it's going counterclockwise. Then all of a sudden, it turns clockwise. It's like an illusion. It looks like the wheel is spinning backwards as the car is moving forward. And And as a child, I would look at that and be like, wow, how does that even happen? But never once in my mind did I think that car was moving backwards, right? Like I could make a distinction between this is even as a child that this is an illusion, that these rims are not spinning backwards and it's moving forward, right? Likewise, when we read in the first part of this where it says, while driving along a country road, the trees in the distance seem to move along with us, while the shrubbery close next to us or close by moves swiftly past us in the opposite direction, right? So it seems like one part's going one way and the other part's going the other way, but really you're the one moving. And so I look at that at life, and then on the other side it says there are other times when we accept appearance as reality. We see poverty and sickness, and judging by their appearance, we can come to the conclusion that these are real. So there's certain things that we see in the journey of our life, and we say, "Yep, that's real." And then there's other things we see in the journey of our life, and we say, "No, that's not real. I understand that that's an illusion." And the power is ours to designate what is real in our perception and what we consider to be an illusion in our perception. And so if we can take that same power, take ownership of that power, and think, you know what? I might not be able to see everything, or I might see, it might seem as things are moving in the opposite direction, like the spokes on that tire or the rims on that tire. On that car, it might seem like it's moving in the opposite direction, but I know I'm moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm setting one step behind the other. It may feel like I'm going in reverse or I'm moving in the opposite direction. It's like sitting in a car, right? Even if you're sitting in a car and let's say you're parked in a parking lot. And have you ever had that experience where you're sitting and in your peripheral, you see the car next to you start to reverse back and it makes you feel like you're going forward? You're like, oh my goodness, what's going on?
Yeah.
That's an optical illusion, right? That's an illusion of like the relativity of where everything is. And it seems to us like we might be moving when we're not. So that's, to me, that's a reflexive statement. When we're still and we see other people moving, we can sometimes feel like we're the ones going backwards, right?
Brandon,
But when we're moving, oh, go ahead.
can I throw something in here? And I don't know
Yeah,
if you were
yeah.
here for this one. Did you set your alarm? Were you here September 17th? Did you set your alarm? When you
I
said the word
think so.
illusion, it brought me back to this one where it says, while it may seem that sometimes we are spinning dangerously out of control, we are not alone. The Creator is ever present.
Mm,
Remember that one? The Creator
yes,
is
ma'am.
ever present. Such a time calls for faith, the knowing that somehow everything will work out for the best. It is
Mm,
not your world that is shattering, it is your illusions. Your illusions. And that was, did you set your alarm? The quote was, isn't it a shame a black man invented the clock and we still have black folks who don't know what time
what
it is?
time it is? I remember that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that. But yeah,
You
I mean
got
that.
to be real with yourself in order to know. You got to set your own alarm clock if you want to wake up. Don't go over to the neighbor's house and set theirs and think you're going to hear it.
Hmm.
Come on. Get real.
And what I was saying is just that despite how things are moving around you, you have to know whether you're moving or not. You know what I mean? And know that things are relative, right? You can't judge the journey of your life on how fast someone else is moving, right? On the movements of others. And I think sometimes people get discouraged in seeing, oh, this person is at this point in life. This
Mm-hmm.
person has this in life. They own this, they own that, or, you know, anything, right? But you can see from the people who have fame or fortune and some of the things that go on in their lives, the sadness and the darkness that you sometimes see on their faces.
Mm-hmm.
right? With all these material possessions, do they look happy? Do they seem at peace, right? And so sometimes, we're craving things that aren't even good for us. And our visions of success aren't even visions that serve us. And sometimes when that illusion, that house of cards, or that glass house starts to break, we think that there's a calamity going on. We think that it's a crisis in our life. We think that things are not working out in our favor. But rather, when the illusion breaks down, now you can see the forest. You can see the trees in the forest. You're not missing the forest for the trees.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so it's
Yeah.
okay when those illusions start to break down. It's okay when the mirage in what seems to be a desert of life fades away. Just behind that might be your oasis. Just behind that might be the destination of your journey, or a place on a destination on your journey that you didn't even know was the destination. You might think you're going somewhere else, and God has a better plan for you than you have for yourself. But if you are moving step by step, if you're putting one foot in front of the other, then you know you're progressing. Focus on your steps. Focus on your consistency. Focus on you setting your alarm in the morning, or for the morning. Focus on you hitting your goals and planning out strategically where you want to be. And then the rest, leave it to God. And in my faith, we have we have this famous saying among us as a tradition of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, that is, tie your camel, then trust in Allah, or trust in God. Tie your camel, right? You have a responsibility to put one foot before the other. But after you do that, know that all you can do is all you can do. And that is the goal. The goal is to do your best, right? And as long as you keep doing that, how can you not progress, right? But if you compare yourself to Tom, Dick, and Harry, you're never going to be satiated. You're never going to be happy, because not only do you not truly know where they are in life, but you also don't know what are the benefits or the detriments of that life. You don't even know if that life is real, because you're looking from the outside in. You don't know what that life feels like from the inside out. So be grateful. I think it starts at a point of gratitude. Be grateful for what you have. That's what's real. Be grateful for your family. That's what's real. Be grateful for the breath that you took when you woke up this morning. That's what's real. The opportunity to be better today than you were tomorrow. That's what's real. That's more real than everything you see moving around you. And trying to surmise, am I ahead or am I behind? Am I ahead or am I behind? Right? So focus on on the steps, on the consistency, on the commitment, on the journey, and not the destination. There's a quote that says that the one who is the one the person who's on a journey, or the person who's traveling and is more concerned about the destination,
Then the
right?
journey.
Then the journey won't get there as fast, right? Or it won't be as pleasurable of an experience. I have to go back and get that exact quote, but basically the one that focuses on the journey will have a better experience. Because imagine
Mm-hmm.
if all you want is, like I said, some people want to spend $1 million, we say, as opposed to make $1 million. But if you just got $1 million and you spent it, it's gone. What's the use of it? But what the critical stuff was you had what it took to create that $1 million, to create that business, to create those standard operating procedures, to provide those jobs. You see what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
had the wherewithal to create a business plan and execute it, find funding, and vertically integrate your business. Right? That's what the juice was. The juice wasn't the $1 million. There are millionaires. Who's the guy I looked up? I think his name was Golden something. It's a black man out of Tampa. And he said the most money he's made was $15 million in a year. And the guy who was interviewing him asked him, he said, have you ever been broke in your life? And he laughed. He was like, I was broke at the beginning of my life. Then I made more money than I ever thought I would make, and then I was broke again.
Mm.
And then he made his money. Then he made, money in such a way to where, he feels he won't be broke again. But seeing that rise and that fall, the ebbs and the flows, the mountains and the valleys, seeing through all of that and seeing that there's a bigger picture when you zoom out, and all those mountains are beautiful, that you wouldn't have the mountain peaks if you couldn't at the same time see the valley. That
Mm.
mountain wouldn't be as majestic if you could not see both sides of that coin.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't spin that quarter if the backside was smooth. You have to have the other side of the coin. And sometimes that dark side of the moon is part and parcel to the moon itself. You know, you couldn't see that crescent moon if it wasn't the dark side. You couldn't see that half moon, you know. It's not it's still just as much the moon when it's a crescent as when it is a full moon. Relative to what the illusion might seem like it's not there. It's still there. There's just no light shining on it at that moment, but it's still there. So that's all I got. Come on and get real.
So Brandon, real quick, and I'll read the comments and we'll get out of here. This part here, so it is with life. When driving along a country road, as you were speaking, the trees in the distance seem to move along with us, right? Move along with us, while the shrubbery close by moves swiftly past us in the opposite direction. This reminds me of like how we don't see even sometimes the people right there closest to us, ride or die people, right? Ride or die people right there, or even situations and things. We're looking outward. We're looking either, as you say, Brandon, in the future, that the destination, or we're stuck in the past. And it becomes a time where, come on, get real. Simone, get real is about being present in and to your journey, right? But if you're not, guess what? And guess why? Because you're stuck. You're not keeping it real. You're stuck back there, or you're focused on what you want to be up there. And there's some things right around you that's part of the journey to get you from unstuck and to get you there,
Mm.
right? But because you miss it, because it says, it would appear that the entire landscape was moving in one direction while we are standing still. In reality, when you are back there in your feelings in your head, or up there, as it says here, you're standing still. You're not really going anywhere. Because Brandon says we're looking at all the other stuff, trying to, I guess, project what is it moving, or wow, it's whatever. When you got some stuff going on right here, right? And you ain't moving. Ain't nothing happening. And it's how you looking at it. As the affirmation says today, I will look for what's real. I will set my sights. We didn't get on the part about the righteous judgment is the judgment that comes from right thinking, right? Right thinking. Right thinking comes from God. If you ain't spending no time with God, you ain't writing nothing. Right thinking, right living, right nothing. You're not on a journey. You're just moving. No destination. As I said, taking a staycation in a location that you ain't even supposed to be in. It was just supposed to be a vacation. Right? Over to you, Brandon. Let's get out of here.
Let's do it. Well, I want to read some of the comments real quick if that's cool. We got a I think we already said the ones from earlier this morning. Thank y'all. We had one comment from Miss Brenda Davis at 7:31. 8 minutes ago, she said, "Tammy, I truly understand what you're saying. I can no longer pretend everything is okay with my family. I am on my healing journey, but my family is not ready to heal. Some don't even realize they need it. I always wanted us to heal as a family, but it's not left up to me. Only God can heal them, but they have to put in the work for this to happen. I have tried for so long to be the rescuer to no avail. This has only worn me down and made me tired. I must move on with my life and love them from a distance." Right?
Wow.
And my only response to that is first, congratulations on being on a healing journey. I see that as a sign of success. You know, and know that some people will chastise you and ridicule you for the change that they see in you, and others will take that as a motivation, encouragement to change themselves. But all we can be is an example, and all we can control, like you said, is ourselves. And there's this line, I think I've quoted this before. It's like people say that you've changed as if you have been working this hard to stay the same. You have not, Miss Brenda, you have not worked this hard. You have not woken up in the mornings and gone walking. You have not woken up every morning and to get your health in order. You have not woken up in the mornings and attended this show, right? And read through these daily motivations for African American success every morning to be the same Brenda that you were 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right? You didn't do all of that to stay the same. You did all of that with the expectation of growth, with the expectation of character development, with the expectation to become mentally, spiritually, and emotionally and physically resilient and more healthy. So, that isn't always going to rub everyone the right way, especially if they're stagnant. Now, when it comes to your family, I think, family has certain rights over us, and we cannot do it even for them. We have to do it for God. We have to do it for a higher purpose, right? I was actually listening to, and I'm gonna end it here, but I was listening to it was a podcast with some Muslim women about being married, right? And about how in the Quran and also I guess in the Bible it says that the husband is the head of the household, and that if your husband isn't asking you to do something that's against what God has made uh, has basically said is not allowed, has forbidden for you. If your husband isn't telling you to do something that's forbidden for you, then obey him, right? And the feeling that it could be sometimes for any individual, I'm not just saying, you know, a woman, but in any kind of situation where it's like, oh, I have to literally obey this person, or I'm serving this man, you know what I mean? Me with my degree, and me with as much money as I make, and me with my, my sexy self, right? You want to, it seems beneath us, and we feel entitled, right, to certain aspects, right, of life from what we see from others, which could be an illusion. And it could be hard to say, I'm going to submit to that. I'm going to serve him. I am going to obey my husband, right? But you're looking at it through the lens of, I'm obeying a man. But if you've chosen this man, right, to lead your family and your household under God, right, then you're serving God, not in serving him, right? You're doing this to please God. You're being patient to please God. That meal that you set on that table is going to taste better. It's going to be plated nice and everything. You're going to put a little extra sugar on it, if they say, and a little less salt, because you're making that plate to please God. Your husband, your household is just the vehicle for which you can do that, right? And another saying in Islam is the best of, they say, who are the best of the prophet? Who's the best of men among us? Who's the best of men, period? And he said the best of men are the ones who are the best to their wives and families. That's the best of men. So know that the burden isn't just on you, but we all have our places and positions. And so all that to say about your family, Miss Brenda, is do it for God. Do whatever you're doing for God, and don't stress yourself at all with the results. Sometimes we're so focused on a certain result that we want, where the result was only what we could control. Our goal should be, did I do my part? We can't be attached to outcomes. We have to be attached to what we put in to it, right? Because what you put in You ain't always gonna get out in this world, you know? And some of your blessings are saved for you for a life greater than this life, for a time, for a hereafter, and maybe not the here and now. But don't get discouraged because you don't see, you might not see the immediate, return on the investments that you put in with your family, with anything, right? You just be righteous, and like my grandma Earlene said, let God take care of the rest, right?
So, Brandon, can I say something really quick? As far as trust, when you were speaking about the husband, I had a thought. And I put it out there as a comment. What if we treated our spouse like we treat visitors that come to our home? Because you'll find yourself doing more for the visitor, right? Than your man or your woman. The visitor
Man,
wants
what?
some water, you jump up and get it. The visitor come in, don't care how you felt. You might have
Mm-hmm.
just straightened up the house a little bit before they came in, right?
Put
But
on
you
some
ain't.
different clothes, look
Yeah, yeah. So what if you could
freshened up.
treat your spouse like you treat the company or visitors that come to your house? And then Miss Brenda, and I'm gonna leave with this. For me, because I know how that feels, right? You could get so caught up in wanting to change them as you change. But think about it in this way. And this is just something I saw a few days ago, and it made me think about a time like that, or in that time where I was like, I want this for them. I want this for them. You can't do it for them. You can't even almost want it for them, right? You just got to be it. There was a quote that I saw. If you're still waiting on them to fail, you haven't healed. And again, now this is for me.
Mm.
If you're waiting on them to change, then you haven't healed, because there comes a point in place where you start to have grace for them. Why? Because you were once them. So just because you're on the journey doesn't mean it's the season for them. But if you keep going, and if you don't, because sometimes you can want it so bad until you're almost trying to force it in a sense. Just be it. Just be it, and be it for God. Nothing, no one else. Because whether they change or not, when or when not, has nothing to do with you. It's all about God. That was a hard lesson for me to learn. But thank God that I saw it. Like, okay, this is not my fight. This is.
Mm-hmm.
This is. So I hope that helps. We can talk about that offline, because, ooh, baby, I got a lot there. So, all right, man, let's do it.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We are going to start to head out of here and close this show today. Again, September 30th. Our title was "Come On, Get Real," and our quote from Anita DeFrance, the Olympic champion and member of the International Olympic Committee, said that your goal should be out of reach, but not out of sight. And our affirmation today is that today I will look for what's real. I will set my sights beyond negative conditions or circumstances for the true picture. I will set my sights beyond the negative conditions and circumstances for the true picture. Get the real picture. Get real. All right. Let's get them ducks a playing, them chickens fed. And thank y'all for joining us this morning and letting us be a part of your morning routine. We appreciate it. We love you. Lord, it's good to be back. I miss y'all. I miss these motivations. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the 244th show of In This Season podcast. Peace.